Hey guys, we're here today. We're going to attempt for maybe the 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 20th time to make Tommy's world famous Mexican cornbread dressing. We've had a few little foul-ups and glitches along the way, but right now we seem to be humming along fairly smoothly. What you're going to need is, and this is the most essential thing, you're going to need Mexican cornbread mix. It takes 2 packages of Mexican cornbread mix to make a pan of cornbread. I'm not making a lot of dressing today, so I've already put 2 pans of cornbread in my little mixer right here. Mexican cornbread mix. Don't use Texas honey sweet, don't use corn muffin mix, and don't use that stuff in the box, Jiffy, Iffy, Spiffy, whatever that stuff is, don't use that. That's good for poor people at Christmas and they get it in their Thanksgiving package or whatever, but you know, that's basically your crack hoe of cornbread. You don't want that. You want Mexican cornbread. All right, here. And you want it cooked in a cast iron skillet. 2 pans of this is what I'm using today, made in a cast iron skillet. If you use aluminum, glass, or something other than a cast iron skillet, you are already screwing up. Go home. And please don't call me, email me, private message me, and tell me how you cook your cornbread, because I don't give a whatever. Don't tell me that. If I put something in here you don't like, tough. If I don't put something in here that you like, that's tough too. This is my recipe. Get your own recipe and make your own video. Right now, this is mine. I have crumbled up the cornbread, 2 pans worth of Mexican cornbread in here. I have already added a load of yellow sweet onion, a lot of yellow sweet onion, and then I have chopped up green onion, especially the tops. The tops are super flavorful. They have a whole different taste. Crumble up your cornbread, put in your onions, and put in a lot of them. I love a lot of onions in this stuff. And then put in your green onion tops. Okay? Hand me the pepper. All that pepper. Thank you. My incredibly talented granddaughter. Chopped pepper. Fresh ground pepper. You want fresh ground pepper in here. A little Lowry seasoned pepper. Actually, I've already put the stuff in here. I'm trying not to overdose it with pepper. And just regular old pepper. You can put a little bit of that in there too. Thank you. Mix it all up. Now you should be smelling this stuff. Sage. Let me tell you a little something about sage. Sage makes dressing, but you can overdo it with sage. Okay? I did research on sage the other day and I found out sage is primarily used by people in Alabama to cover up the smell of rotting and spoiled meat. But we don't want to do that. We want just regular rubbed sage or ground sage. Mix it up enough so that you can, you can smell it. Now's the point where people want to put in celery. I don't particularly care to put celery in my dressing. I don't like the crunch to it. I like the flavor, but celery by itself is a little bit strong. You always want celery to accentuate, big word, the rest of the flavors. You don't want it as a primary flavor. It's got to be there to help the other flavors along. Okay, some of you guys are going to get a little crazy right now. Hand me that little white dish, please. Thank you. This is going to excite people and it's going to disgust people. This is rice. Okay? I put in rice. Usually I'll put in a little bit more, but I'm not making a real huge batch today. There you go. And I'll tell you what this rice is going to do. This is cooked rice. You can add as much as you want. And you can add as much or as little as you want of any of these ingredients as long as you're using Mexican cornbread with that good, delicious, savory flavor that it has. Rice, after you cook this, you're going to put it in the refrigerator and you're going to let it sit overnight. And guess what's going to happen? All that rice in there is going to start absorbing flavors. You're going to have little nuggets of rice in there that are nothing but pure flavor. Now we're going to add some moisture to it. Let me tell you what I do. Instead of putting celery in here, I use cream of celery soup. You can use Campbell's, you can use the Kroger brand, whatever will give you a little hint of celery flavor. I would not recommend using celery salt or anything like that, but yeah, the celery soup will give you just about what you need. Hand me one of those cans, please, ma'am. Thank you. You're going to mix chicken stock. One more. More chicken stock. Chicken stock, cream of celery. Hand me the eggs, please. Darling K-Bug. Thank you. Now, I had a discussion with a lady the other night, and she was whining and moaning and groaning, and she said, I don't want boiled eggs in it. And I said, that's not the way I cook it. She said, no, it's got to be boiled eggs. And I said, no, you're from Alabama, aren't you? So, you know, anyway. Plop! I'm using 4 eggs. You can use 6, you can use 2, you can use whatever. Mix this up. Let's get this all mixed up. While I'm mixing this up and making sure all my eggs are mixed up with this, Katie, would you hand me that little bag of flour over there? It's the one with the clothespin on it. You're using flour and eggs as a binder. This is what, after this sets, if you cook this on Wednesday and serve it on Thursday, that's about the ideal way to do it. It usually needs to set overnight and let the flavors meld together. Now, if you've noticed, I haven't given you any precise measurements in anything. I'm throwing stuff in here. This is the way I cook. I throw it together and I smell it. Handful of flour. Let's do another handful of flour. Another handful of flour. How about that? We've gotten some flour in here. Thank you, ma'am. I've gotten some flour on me. Mix it up. Let's get everything coated in flour. Mexican cornbread mix, onions, green onions, sage, and pepper is in here. Oh my God, this smells good. You're going to enjoy this. I could stir this all day long just simply because I've got real strong wrists. I've had strong wrists since I was 13. Anyway, now we're going to take this other stuff that I've mixed up. This is eggs and cream of celery soup. Some people actually put in a little cream of chicken soup. I see no need for that. Let me just pour this in here. Ah, that's going to be great. Thank you, man. Hand me that other little container, too. Now, this is chicken. Chicken in chicken stock. I cooked this the other day. I took a couple of chicken breasts, very small chicken breasts, and they're pretty sensitive about that, but they're dead chickens now, so we can talk about them. Here we go. This is chicken breast that has been cooked in chicken stock. Dump your chicken in there. All right. Stir this up. We are stirring. All right, I'm going to make this a little bit soupier because with the flour and the eggs that I've added, this is going to cook up after it sets overnight. It's going to have a little bit more stable consistency than this. Okay, now we're going to put all this good smelling stuff into the pan. I've already sprayed my pans down with Pam. Now, this has flour and this has eggs. And you know what that's going to make it do? It's going to swell up. It's going to rise up a little bit. I don't really want it over the top of the pan. I mean, it's not going to spill out or anything like that. But that's about what I want in there. This is what you want to set down because it's going to rise up a little bit. And that's what you're going to set down at your table. Thank you, dear. One more pan. I'm making a lot of dressing, a lot more than I thought I was going to make. But this is only 2 pans of Mexican cornbread dressing. There we go. Normally I would scrape this thing and make a lot of noise, but since it's recording all the noise and everything, I'm trying not to. There we go. We are through. Now, what do we do now? I've already preheated my oven. Are you following me? Good. Let's see. Aluminum foil. Some people put it in without the foil on it. I don't. I put foil on top of mine. And I'll tell you why. That kind of steams it. You want everything in here to get thoroughly hot to a good consistent temperature, and you want a little bit of the moisture to cook away, but you don't want all the moisture to cook away. And if you check this maybe 30 minutes into the cooking and it's starting to look dry, there's nothing that will prevent you from pouring a little bit of chicken stock on top of it and kind of swirling it in. All right. Poke a few holes in this puppy. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, I always want to do an even number because I'm OCD like that. Okay, into the oven we go. 350 degree oven. If you're cooking on a wood stove, good luck. This is the 21st century. I'm cooking with gas here. And now we wait for an hour at 350. In an hour, we'll pull that puppy out and we'll check it. In an hour, we will take the aluminum foil off and put it back in for about 10 minutes, and I'll see y'all in about an hour. Okay, we've had it in almost an hour now. I'm going to take it out, check it. Good and steamy. I see a little bit of moisture on top. I think probably I'm going to put it back in for, watch what I do. That's how you check and see when it's ready, is you stick your finger in it. Yep. I'm going to leave this in for maybe another 10 or 15 minutes. And then I'm going to check it again. And then the last time that I check it, I'm going to leave the top off for a little bit. Top is loosely on. Put her back in. And put it back in. And we're going to wait. Oh, let's see. Cooking time. We're going to do 8 more minutes, and we're going to see what it's like in 8 minutes. Okay? All right, it's been a few minutes here. Let's take it out. We'll get the old finger test again to make sure we've got the right consistency and the right heat right in the middle. The middle is, yep, good and hot. Excellent. Now, we're going to do maybe another 8 minutes without the cover on. Do this without burning myself alive. Okay, we're through. About 8 minutes, and then you take it out, cover it up, let it set for a while. This needs to set, it needs to cool off a little bit. When it's still a little bit warm, take some fresh aluminum foil, put over the top, put it in the refrigerator. The next day, Thanksgiving Day, we're assuming, when you decide to serve this, take it out, put it in the oven, make the oven about 200 degrees, leave your aluminum foil on it, and in about an hour or something like that, it'll get warm enough that you can serve it at the table. Okay, that's all I got. Y'all have a happy Thanksgiving.